Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for March 30th, 2025. We're going to look at our updated 2025 NFL power rankings and then discuss the Minwoo Lee hedge at the Houston Open. He's 40 to 1 bet for us, and he's in first place by 4 strokes over one guy, 5 strokes over Scotty Scheffler, and a couple other guys at 12 under. So we're going to look at a hedge there. And as always, get into some utter nonsense, and I'm really looking forward to it. So before we begin, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I am wearing a Walter football shirt from the merch store. This is a brown shirt. It is from our fall collection, our wonderful fall collection. I know it's March, but you can never get it too early. As I mentioned on Thursday, we have a 25% off sale. Some of these shirts are $12. The 1302 here, $12.30 here. This is a great sale. I mean, these shirts are high quality, as Cassandra will point out. You could wear these for years and they'll be fine. So get one of these shirts and help us out. That'd be amazing. You can go to Amazon, buy my book. The most recent one is Jerks to the College Years. It's about how I was at Penn State for 6 years and I made fun of people I met there. So that was a lot of fun to write, and I think you guys would have fun reading it. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. It's the best way to support the show. This week we had Slew, John Sanders, Alan Stafford, all helping us out. Before that, we had Armac, the boss, Can't Make an Eagle, Degeneron. You guys have been so great with your contributions. I can't say that enough. It really helps us out because we make nothing from YouTube ads. It's like 50 cents, 60 cents, 40 cents sometimes. So it's pretty brutal. So anytime you guys contribute super chat, super stickers, we like 30 to X or 20X. Whatever we get, it's pretty awesome. So it's always great to see that, and you guys really keep the show going. All right, we are joined by Tom, Quacky T, back for another Saturday show. Tom, how's it going?
Walt, here we are again. Hello to you, and hello to everyone there in the Walter football family. Holy cow, what a week I'm having, man. Hey, you ever have like a day like where you're doing just like 4 loads of laundry? What do you think your record is for like most unmatched socks? Like at one time, have you had like what I mean is like you can't find the matching. No, you're doing laundry, you can't find the match to a sock. Like you have like just individual socks. What's the most you've ever had at once? Because I'm going to tell you my number after you tell me yours, and I think my number may surprise you.
I would say 3, probably, maybe 4, but and it's gone up. Like, you know, sometimes I'll do the kids' laundry and sometimes I can't find my son's socks, you know, like, so it's gone to another level. But you said 4 loads of laundry. I don't think I've ever done 4 loads of laundry in a single day. I in fact at Penn State, when I was there with you, I never did laundry a single time. If I needed new clothes, I would go buy new clothes because I didn't know how to do laundries, and no one taught me. So I didn't know how to do laundry until I moved into my own house, and then eventually I had to do it myself. It wasn't like too hard, but I didn't even know where the laundry machines were in the dorm. So I don't know. I couldn't have done it anyway. But I always had new clothes, and if I ran out toward the end before like a break where I went home, I would buy some Febreze and just bring my clothes down.
Are you being you didn't know how to operate a washer and dryer? I mean, I didn't learn until high school, I don't think, but it's like, dude, it's literally 2 buttons. There's all these different settings for like the purposes of people like me and you. Like, we don't need to know any setting but like one spit, like unless like I don't know, like you spill something all over your shirt. But like let me tell you something else. I've never once in my life passed. Well, no, that's not true. I think originally maybe I did when I first started doing laundry, but like I've never like separated my whites and colors. I just use cold water. Nothing bad has ever happened to my clothes after doing it the way I do it. It's just like, okay, boom, 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 like go. I don't need I don't need like a premium press dry or like any. It's just like time dry every time, like on the dryer. It's not that hard. You probably just never looked at it.
Well, I can do it now. I can do it now. Like it told me it's easy. I know how to do it now. But no, I just had enough clothes because like there's always like a break. Like when you're in school, you know, you had when you start up, you have fall break, you have like a month in, and then you have Thanksgiving break, and then you have Christmas break, and then you have spring break, et cetera, et cetera. Like I was always going home, and plus I swam for. During my early college years, I swam for a club team near Philadelphia, so I was going home then. So I'd always like take my laundry home, and I would just always do it there. I always have like my mom do it. So
Yeah.
I never knew how. And but like I said, now I live at home. I live in the house by myself, or I did by myself, for 5 years before I met my wife. And so I would just do my laundry. But I still had enough clothes to like, I wouldn't have to do laundry for like I could do laundry like once every 2 months or 3 months at this point. Like I just have like there's so much. Yeah. So
and you're telling me you've maybe had like 4 unmatched socks ever. Let me tell you, you ready for my number?
Yeah.
23. I had 23 unmatched socks once. And Walt, I'm telling you right now, there's a chance I might break that record later tonight after the show when I finish folding. How does this happen to me? I think I just got to throw them all out. I just got to throw out all the unmatched because I got plenty that are matched. I think I just start like how long I've been doing this for years. I'm holding on with hope that maybe somehow in a future load of laundry, I'll get at least one match. I mean, there's 23 to choose from here. And then like that's what's crazy. Like once you have like 10, and then you get so many more. You go from like 10 to 14 to 18 to 23. It's like, how many more of these are there going to be? I think I just got to start with a clean slate. Keep the ones that are matched. Just go through everything in my home, in my closet, under the bed. Make sure there's no stray socks, laying around. And then just start clean slate, and then start keeping the inventory. Then once they get mismatched from there, like okay, I've got 10 pair. I probably have like 30 pairs of socks, at least. Because I have black socks for work, and then like white socks for, whatever, casual, I suppose. But I just
77% of your socks are mismatched. That's not possible.
But that's what I'm saying. And then if I start keeping the inventory, then I can at least try to get a hold of this thing on some level and determine at what rate I'm losing the socks.
So you said 2 things. Well, to address your mismatched socks, the way you cure that is to have all socks that are the same. So I bought like, what do you mean you can't do that? I ordered, I went on Amazon because I need new socks because like mine were getting holes in them. So I ordered like a pair of, I ordered like this box of socks. They're all the same. They're like 6 or 8 of them in the box. And then I just wanted to see how they felt, and they felt fine. And so I ordered like 3 more boxes. And so I have like 24 of the same socks. And so it doesn't matter if they're mismatched because they're all the same. They all look the same.
I can't do it. I need dress socks. I need variety.
Well, no, I know that. I understand dress socks, but like jogging socks / like relaxing socks at home, like they could all be the same, and then your dress socks could all be the same too. I guess. I mean, sometimes you might have to. You could like have 2 or 3 different kinds, but you could like consolidate the different types of socks you have.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand the merit for your idea there. Look, I'm opening my drawer right here. I've got socks right here unmatched in a drawer. I think I'm going to break the record of 23 tonight. What the honk is going on over here? How can I lose that? How can I lose that many?
I don't know. I don't know. It's got to be trapped in like the washer or the dryer somewhere.
How though?
That's where it goes. Unless like little gnomes are sneaking in your house and taking away the socks.
Yeah, like
step
4 or 5.
1, take Tom's socks. Step 2, step 3, profit.
Well, to my credit, like I'm about 95% that this is user error too on my part, at least on some level. But I mean, I think I really need to go and start taking an inventory. I don't know where. Like even like 6 or 7 unmatched socks I could see. 23. You remember our deal, right? If you outlive me, then you have to make sure my brain.
Yep. I will donate your brain to science.
Okay, good. I wanted even better to hear you say it. Yeah,
but you need it in writing because I need to convince your family to do it. So
okay, I'll have to draft something up here.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just, there's definitely something going on.
The second thing you said you were folding clothes. I had never folded clothes in my life, not once. I don't understand the purpose. I just like whenever I would do laundry. So I was a mess before my wife came. Like, because I put in the washer and then put in the dryer. When it was done, I would just keep it in the dryer and I would like take it out if I needed it. So I was a mess then. But now, if I do some laundry, like I said, every 2-3 months, I'll take it out of the dryer and I'll just hang it up. Or if it's like a shirt, I'll put it in the drawer. Like I've never, like, I don't see the point of folding clothes. My wife does it all the time for like her clothes and my kids' clothes. I'm like, why? Because like sometimes like I'll hang up the clothes, like my kids' clothes, and like she folds it and then I'll unfold it and hang it up. Like what's the point here? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like you're just wasting time.
I've always folded my clothes.
Why?
I've never not folded my clothes because there has to be an order. There's some order has to exist here. And then it gets all wrinkly. I have this whole routine in the morning. You know, first thing I do is I make my bed, and then I take whatever dress shirt I'm going to wear, and I throw it in the dryer with some ice cubes while I shower, because if there's any extra wrinkles that need to come out, it works. Every now and then I might have to touch it up depending on if I'm wearing a shirt that's really wrinkled. But you throw a couple ice cubes in the dryer with it, it works pretty. It works pretty well.
Well, I always heard that you could hang up your shirt while you're taking a shower, and the steam will straighten out.
I have a buddy that does that. He swears by that technique.
Well, I learned that from Charlie. We were I think this is the first time we went to a Super Bowl together. We were in Houston, and like I had a suit with me, and I was like, oh man, like this is a little wrinkly. And he said, no, just hang it up in the shower, and then it'll be fine. And he was 100% correct. As he is with the draft analysis. He was right on point with the wrinkly.
Yeah. No, I have a buddy that does the same thing, swears by it. I never really tried it because I don't know. I don't like to leave the water running that long. I'm in and out of the shower, man. I don't play games in there.
Oh, I stay in there for like hours on end.
Hours?
No, not hours. Like 15 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Depends.
Jeez, I want to get in and out, man. I want it to be a quick process. I can get ready for the day in about 25 minutes total.
I can get ready quickly if I wanted to too, but I never have to get ready for anything. So you know,
and
it's the luxury of living and working at home. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like I wear like a shirt and tie, doing my hair, and like 25 minutes. I can do it. It does not take. It does not take me long to get ready.
Well, I pride myself on getting ready quickly to go to the airport. Like I can pack my bags in like a half hour. I need a lot of clothes. Like I have an index card in my suitcase. I flip it out and just go straight down and just what I need, and it's so flawless.
Wow.
You just never forget anything that way.
How early do you get to the airport when you go?
2 hours. 2 hours.
Oh, okay, good. Some people. You ever meet one of these people that gets there like 45 minutes before? I don't play that, man.
You can't, because it could be such a long line for security.
Yeah, there's. Let me tell you, I'm obnoxiously early to everything. I'm obnoxiously early to everything. But it's like I want to be through security and have 2 hours. I don't know why I'm like that. But I don't know. I just like to be early for things. I have like a way of doing things, and like I know everybody does this, but like you kind of like check your gate, like so you know where it is, and then like you start searching the shops, and then I figure out like how I'm going to entertain myself from that point. But I like to get there early. You ever meet someone, they're like, oh, like we'll get there like 30 minutes, like you're getting there 30 minutes before. It's like, are you out of your mind? Like, why do you want to? What? I mean, of course, like there's going to be some instances where like maybe there's traffic or whatever and you're hurrying, but like when you're like have the time to plan, that makes me nervous. I don't like to be around people that I don't like to travel with people that do that. I traveled with someone for work once and they did that. I was like, that's not going to work. Like we carpooled together. I was like, we got to be there early and we're going to be there early. Like that's not, and he,
Yeah, it depends what for. Like for airports, you have to be there early because there could be a long line for checking your bag. There could be a long line for security. It's so many things can go wrong that I always want to be early for that. But if it's something else, like I'll usually be like 5 to 10 minutes late. I said on the show that I would used to go into my Penn State classes like 15, 20 minutes late, and I even got like one guy who I was friends with, this guy Angad. I was always like 15, 20 minutes late to a journalism ethics class. And he was walking out with me one day, and he's like, "Walt, you're so cool." I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you walk into class 20 minutes late every day, like you don't give an F, and just sit down. And he's like, wow, like everyone thinks you're the coolest. I'm like, really? I was just like, I'm usually just like working on my website, and that's why I'm late.
That's interesting, because now like I have to be like an hour early to almost everything.
Yeah.
Not almost everything, but like if we were going to meet at, like for dinner or something, I'd probably be in the parking lot 30 minutes before the time.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It depends like like from where I'm coming from. Like I always give myself, like when I'm driving somewhere like decently far, like at least a 45-minute to like an hour and a half cushion. I don't know. Like I guess this is anxiety, huh?
I guess my wife is like that too. She needs to be super early, which like kind of it really irks her when I'm late for stuff. Like she always yells at me, for that.
Yeah.
That's like her biggest pet peeve. But I never saw the purpose of being early for stuff, unless like I said, airport or something that like it actually matters. But like I said, I used to always be late for class. When I took a class with my sister, we took Russian history together in the last semester of my Penn State tenure there. She would always have to tell me, she's like, "Walt, we have a midterm today. You should be on time." I'm like, "Okay," because like I would always like strut in 20 minutes late, and like I always goofed off in that class. I even showed up for the final drunk, which I wrote about in the book, which you can see on screen there. It was I didn't need the class for anything, even if I got an F, I would have graduated just fine. It didn't matter at all. So I just needed it to be a full-time student. Plus, my sister was in the class, so like I could say I took the class with my sister. So I gave like a 0 effort in that class, and I still got like a B plus, so it was fine.
You got a B plus.
I when I was drunk, I got like an 88 on my final. I couldn't see the bottom half of each page. I was like looking like this, and like the one of the TAs like moved me to the back because they thought I was cheating. Like actually couldn't see the test, the bottom half of each page. And on the back, I said I wrote because we had an extra credit question. She was like, write the answer on the back. On the back, I wrote, please don't give me any extra credit. I was rude and late to your class all the time.
Oh wow, well that was a nice little peace offering at least.
Yeah.
Well, but let me tell you something. Like, you want to know how like it gets to this level with me. Like sometimes I think it's gonna sound weird, but like I'll ask myself, like, if I get like essentially say if I could get where I need to be 2 hours early, is that going to be enough time? Sometimes like I don't know, and like I have other things to do, like when I go like to my office in the morning, like if I have to be there at like 9, it's like, well, if I get there at 7, like I have other things I can do too, but it's just, I don't know why I get like that with showing up early. It's going, I mean, of course it's better to be early than late, but I don't know why it's pushing that far, like for me recently, but yeah, I'm early all the time.
I don't think it's necessarily better to be early than late. I mean, like, yeah, for certain things, yeah, but if you're going to a party and you're early, like, you actually might offend the host, just because like they're getting ready. And like I would always hate that. I would always host parties in my house, and I'd be like, hey, like party starts at 8, right? There always would be like 1 or 2 people would show up at like 7:30, and I'm like I'm not even ready. I'm not even ready yet. I didn't shower yet. Like, what are you doing here? Like go home and come back in an hour.
Oh, is that what you told him?
No, I wouldn't do that. But that's what I would be thinking. It's like, why are you here so early? I'm not ready. Yeah.
In situations like that, I'm not going to show up that early. Like, I'll show up like to like a party like I wouldn't do that at a party.
Yeah.
But like
even on time, it's like most people show up like a half hour late or an hour late. I feel like that's like the common thing, like being on time, because like no one's there on time, and you're just there with like two or three other people, and it's like kind of awkward.
I don't know. Maybe I just like to sit there and be like alone with my thoughts. Maybe I'll sit there in the car for a while.
I mean, yeah, you could do that, I guess.
I hate the feeling of being late, though.
Yeah, well, it's like my wife. I get it. I'm always habitually late. Like, and I get it from my parent. My mom is like infamous here for being super late. Because it got to the point where my wife would tell like my parents, this would be like, if we had like a dinner at 6, she'd be like, oh, be there at 5:45. And then like they would get there at 6 predictably, you know.
One time, let me tell you something. One time, this was 2014, and I was back in. I started pursuing my bachelor's in business, and I was taking statistics, and there was this girl that I like she sat next to me in class, and like we always talked every class, and then like before I think the final, I was like, hey, she was like, do you want to get together in the library like at this time before the final and study together? I was like, yeah, absolutely, like I could use it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, like I don't like we agreed at like 11 a.m. meet in the library. She rolls up at noon, like without texting me. I thought that was, and like she didn't even say like, oh, like sorry I'm late. I thought that was, nah, I can't get down.
An hour is kind of excessive. Like
yeah, and like or at
like
least
for that, yeah.
And then like it's like three pronged. It's like that, and then to not even be like, hey, I'm running late.
Right.
I'm actually not going to be there until this time. Sorry, to not give me anything. And then 3, when you show up, like act like nothing happened. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I mean, I was studying on my own, but like I needed her help with some stuff too. Like I want to, like, just at least let me know. Like that's the thing. Like I understand things happen, but like just communicate that to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you have like a 15-minute cushion for stuff like that, where like you can show up like 15 minutes late and like not explain yourself. You can be like, oh, I got stuck in traffic, sorry, but like once you're past 15 minutes, if you're like, if it's like a one-on-one thing, you should probably it's easy to text someone, be like, hey,
yeah,
like my my water heater exploded. Just like what happened to me a couple
yeah,
months ago.
that'll push you back 15 minutes.
Yeah. So like you should always like let someone know, at least like especially in the era of like when people have cell phones and whatnot. Just so
yeah,
easy to do it.
exactly. There's no like there's just no excuse not to. I feel like I don't know, like, and I mean, and anyone in the comments can differ with me if you will, because I don't know, like when I encounter people who like show that they're making an effort to respect my time, like as much as they can in a situation, like I've had people that'll be like, hey, like just letting you know, like I'm going to be late or whatever, and like I really like tend to think higher of those people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they have a greater sense of awareness.
Yeah.
I think that's rude when like in like a couple minutes, sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
it.
I would never like roll up an hour and like without saying anything. Like it's weird. It's like you you had like showed like absolutely no regard for it. So like that's how deep it runs with me. I'm not I'm not holding any grudges or anything.
Yeah, no,
I'm just trying to make my point. I'm not like actually over here like steaming with anger.
But I can see just like you have like and like Billy Madison, you had the guy, Steve Buscemi in the basement. You had like a list of like of people who offended you because they're late, and you're like smearing lipstick on your face.
Yeah,
you're plotting revenge on these people.
No, it's not like that. I'm just saying it's like I don't know. Like I just like I would never do that. Like I could never see myself, except in an extreme situation, like do that to somebody else. So I guess it just doesn't compute to me. So I guess I'm the problem.
I don't know. It's okay. Speaking of comments in the chat, T. Rofi says, "What's the point of making the bed while we're at it?" And Slew answers it, the missus. Yes, I used to never make my bed at all, and never once. And then my wife was like, "Hey, you sleeping later than I do. Can you please make the bed in the morning?" I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." Like that's the only reason I do it. You make your bed.
Oh, that's interesting because like, let me tell you something. Like this is going to sound strange, but when I make my bed in the morning, it's like I look forward to doing it. It's like the first thing I do. It's the first thing I do.
Really?
I jump out of bed, like I turn on my lights, like, and then I immediately like maybe I'll throw my shirts in the dryer first with the ice cubes. But no, that's the first thing I do, and I look forward to that. Like when you get that routine, I have a good morning routine. But making that bed as it's, I feel like that whole like making your bed like idea It's almost like canon now. You've heard a few people talk about it, like just making that routine. It's really been beneficial for me.
That was
But
Jordan Peterson's thing that he would always say.
yeah.
Make
Oh,
that.
for sure. Dr. Peterson said it. And I think there was like a Navy admiral or something that gave like a speech at I don't know if it was a commencement or something like that gave that same type of speech. It's for me, like it was very life changing. It
Mhm.
really was, like, be it unrelated to all the other things that are going on in your life, like it makes a difference, like walking back like into your bedroom, like from like whatever you're doing in the day, and it's just a nice clean area, like that bed. There's something more inviting about it, and there's something that can kind of like burden one when you see like all the like stacks of dirty laundry, piles rather of dirty laundry, and that sort of thing. Like you walk in and you see that it's psychological for sure. I mean, obviously, but it's really I never I made my bed at like with maybe an exception here or there every day for like I don't know 8 years now.
Wow.
I don't
And you
miss
don't
it,
even have
man.
a wife
I
telling you to
don't.
do it.
What's that?
You don't even have a wife telling you to do it. That's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's just part of what I do. I would feel weird. It would almost make me feel uncomfortable if I didn't.
I never gave a damn. I just never did it. I
You
don't.
should
I never
try it,
saw the point.
man. You
What do
should
you mean? I
try
do
it.
it now. I do it every day now because my wife will yell at me if I
Well,
don't
you
do
just
it.
said you didn't do it.
No, before I met my wife,
Oh,
I never did it.
okay. We'll
A
see.
lot has
And
changed ever
look,
since I got married. A
yeah,
lot has changed.
yeah, and now you feel better.
No, I don't. I don't
No,
feel better at all.
you're just saying that to try to prove me wrong. After I poured my heart and soul out about the bed
I feel
making.
better that I don't get yelled at. That's like the
See,
only
there you
thing.
go. It shows itself in many forms.
Nah, I'd never care. I really never cared. I
No,
never
it's
saw the
made
point.
it. Well, I really recommend it to anybody. It's you got to have like some semblance of a routine, I think, especially in the morning. But
No.
not that I'm any sort of know-it-all, but that is one thing I do well. So, what do we have? What's up, Cassandra?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
you hate when people are late.
I think I hate it when people are late. Look, it depends for what. Like if you're meeting up with someone one on one or like a small group and you're like an hour late or even a half hour late, yeah, it's pretty rude. Like you have to have an excuse. But like when I was at Penn State and I was showing up to class late, like that didn't affect anyone except me. Like I was missing
Right,
out on stuff
right.
I learned. Like sometimes the professors would be like, they would not like me very much. Um, but it ended up fine because I would always like befriend my professors, and so it didn't matter. Like I gave this one example. We had this one professor. I think her name was Professor Monk, and she taught magazine writing. And I would always be like 15, 20 minutes late to her class. Like, I was always working my website and I would sometimes lose track of time or always lose track of time. So I was never on time. And so I actually wanted to submit a proposal to a magazine. And I approached her one day after class, and I was like, "Hey, Professor Monk, I'm sorry, I'm always late, but I was really looking to get your help to submit this to like ESPN magazine. I think that's what it was." And she was like so happy that I asked her help for it, and so I felt like she forgot that I was always late. Because like ever since I asked her that, like she always like seemed to like me a lot, and she gave me
Oh
like better
wow.
grades for that. So
Oh
yeah,
nice.
I feel like when you're teaching like and you feel that like a student is getting a lot out of it, like it really kind of fulfills you. Um, so I was kind of that way. I used to be a swim coach a long time ago,
Hmm.
and like when some of the kids would be like, "Hey, can you really help me with my stroke?" I always be like, "Wow, this it's awesome that they're trying to get better and they're seeking my help for it."
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, it always like definitely rewarding in that aspect.
No,
Um,
no, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
You know,
Um,
oh god.
As Patrick says, back to report. I waited 3 hours in line last night for King's Dominion, new launched wing coaster, and got to watch highlights of golf and have decided it's the most unpredictable entertaining sport. Dude, I'm telling you, I said this to Evan when he was on 2 weeks ago, and I've said it a few times. I used to think golf was super boring, but if you're betting on golf, it is like some of the most exciting sporting events like you ever see. Like you're always on the edge of your seat. Every shot like matters. There was like super highs, super lows. It is so exciting, like especially on Sunday in round 4 when you have someone either in the lead or like very close to winning. It's like, it's like your heart starts to race and stuff like that. I think it's like, it's outside of the NFL. I think it's or maybe like the last seconds of a basketball game. It's like right up there. And people just don't realize that, because like every time I say like, hey, I got into golf, people are like, oh, that's so boring. It is really exciting. Like tomorrow's gonna be awesome because we win Moo Lee at 17 under. So it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I too have started to enjoy it a little more since you've been making the picks. Hey, real quick while we're on the topic though, well, I guess we weren't on the topic. What's your official stance on people who back into parking spaces?
I hate these people. I hate them with a passion. I really do.
Look, if you
I
want,
go
yeah, go ahead.
I just don't get why they do it. I'm just like, park normally, unless like you have to unload something. Obviously, then it makes sense. But like, it just feels like you're showing off. Just like park normally. You don't need to back in.
Yeah, I don't, and I guess the obvious argument is, oh, well, you can pull, it's easier to pull out. Like, okay, sure. But like, and hey, like if you want to back into your driveway or something, like have at it. But it's like
Right.
when you're like, it seems like everyone that has to do it, like don't do it so that like you're blocking me. I don't know. Why is it that big of a deal? Why can't you just park in the way? You can't drive in reverse? It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to get out of there, but it's harder to get in. Like it's the same thing, and you're holding people up most of the time. Like I can't.
That's what.
Like
Yeah.
this, like you were saying, there's so many instances in my life where I had to wait because like some a-hole was like trying to park like back in like the other way, and I just have to wait for a minute. It's like, come on, just park normally, and you don't have to hold anyone up.
Or the way they make like the weird maneuver, like coming around when there's both traffic. It's like, wait, what's happening here? And like you're supposed to know, like. I mean, those are more rare occurrences, but it's like, okay, so bringing this full circle, those are the people that probably are like, don't like have like a ton of respect for people's time. I feel like, and I know I'm painting with a very broad brush, and I'm also trying to embellish for comic value on some level, but like, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true, because I have no respect for people's time, but at the same time, I've never backed into a parking spot.
I've never done it either. Again, unless that I can think of, unless like you mentioned, absolutely necessary for unloading or whatever else.
Yeah. Mike,
what have
how
you
really feel about parking space backer uppers, Walt? I would just gather these in a rock and shoot them into the sun. I despise these people so much.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I don't care if you do it, but like just don't hold me up for like, and
Yeah.
For an unreasonable amount of time.
Right. If you're an empty parking lot and you're just like, there's no one there, like fine, whatever. And like I said, like, yeah, if you need to offload something from your truck, then I get it. Like, obviously you have to do that then. But if you're holding people up, like it's so, I think it's so rude, I don't know. But then again, like I said, I'm always late myself, so I don't know if there's any correlation to this, but there might be. I might just be like the rare person who is late to stuff and doesn't back in.
One time I was it was finals week when I was getting my bachelor's here at UCF, and I had like one of the latest finals on the schedule. I must have, because I think it was actually on a Saturday. So like most students don't have that. So it was on campus, and I parked in like the huge parking deck, but the thing is like pretty much empty, like, and it's a huge deck, like completely empty. And so I'm going to pull in there, and like I noticed there's someone following me, like they're coming into the parking deck too. I was like, oh wow. I was thinking like this poor sap is stuck with a Saturday final too. In this huge parking deck, this kid ended up parking right next to me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, literally every space was available. And I just, not in a rude way, but like, so like he parked right. I thought that was really weird. And I looked over at him like, really, dude? And he kind of like put his head down. Like he knew that was a faux pas. But I didn't say anything. I was just like, dude, like, why do you gotta be like right up on me? There's hundreds upon hundreds of spaces here. We're the only two students like taking final right now. Why would you park? Like, at least park one space over.
Right.
I like to park far away.
Yeah, actually, I used to. I wouldn't say I dated this girl. We went out a couple times, but she had like I always like when we went to the movies one time, and like I parked so far away. Like it was like the first parking spot I saw. She's like, Walt, what are you doing? Why don't you park closer? I'm like, it takes time to find a spot. Like I just found a spot. We can walk. Like where I think I was probably like 20 and she was like 18 or something. I can't remember, but I'm like, we're both young. Like we can walk, you know? And she made fun of me for that after. She's like parked so far away. I hurt my hamstring walking.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I do it all the time. I prefer, like, why do you really need to get that? Somebody's like, oh, there's a space right there. It's like, yeah, but then there's one with like a lot more. I don't know. Like if I can avoid like people not parking near, like being parked near people, I will. It's like, you're like, whoa, it's so much closer. It's like 15 and a half steps. Like, it's, I don't know. Let me tell you a story. So the year was 2006 at the Starbucks in downtown Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a date with a girl there. And this is, geez, that's almost 20 years ago. September 2006. And we both parked in this parking lot that was nearby. Not thinking anything of it. We were in the Starbucks for a few hours talking. We come out, both of our cars were towed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the first date.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, there were vultures down there, man.
I never parked down there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I hardly did either. I just remember, to my recollection, there were vultures, man. There's like nowhere to park, and they were like right on you. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like we walked out there, and we were like, "Are you serious? Like our cars are gone." So we had to. I think we walked. The towing place wasn't too far. I can't remember. I mean, it was 2006. We might have called a cab. There was a cab service up there.
Yeah.
But like by phone with my Motorola Razr, I'm calling a taxi to go pick up my car that got towed on a date. Oh my god, man! That sucked. That sucked.
Yeah, and there's no Uber at the time. Like you can just like drive over.
Yeah, yeah.
So it still would have sucked too. Like I never drove into campus. I always would park in the parking lot, and like whenever if I drove like while I was there, like not going home, it was always to like the liquor store or something. But I never drove downtown. It's like it felt like such a mess like driving downtown.
And it was, it's like downtown college town. I mean, it's not a particularly big downtown, but yeah, I wouldn't want to, I don't blame you. Like I wouldn't want to be down there either, but like, this wasn't like a bar night. It was like, I don't know, it might've been like a Tuesday night. It was in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, yeah, that sucked. That sucked. But anyhow.
Walt ever back in the trend from the parking lot. I could have. Look, I was the only person there, and at 2 a.m. I was the only person there.
Yeah,
so I could have.
That's the only. That's the only time that it's acceptable, Slew.
Yeah, I mean, I always do the move where if there's like 2 empty spots, you know how they have like this and like that, and like you would always go forward, so you can always just go out. Like go forward, right? You do that. Actually, I had a friend. She used to date one of my best friends, and they came over one day, and she's like, "Well, do you ever do that? Like what I explained to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, all the time." And my best friend's like, "No. She did not do that. There was like an island separator. She drove over the island to like to go into the next spot. She's like, she did not do what you're saying. What she was saying."
Oh my god. Oh my god, man! Yeah, the parking. You can't park downtown anywhere. Like, who are the people that get these spots in like these busy downtown areas? I guess the early birds. But it's like, could you imagine like trying to park like in a big city, like say like Philadelphia, for example, and like who are the people that get those spots?
I despise driving downtown. If I ever go, I just take the train. I never like it's such a hassle to like find parking. It's always so expensive too, and you have to I don't know how to parallel park. I mean, I don't know how I passed my test with parallel parking. I failed my test twice with parallel parking, then I passed it the third time. I think it was just all luck. I was just so bad at it.
Really?
I just never got it. I don't know. I was like so terrible. I've been parallel parked since passing my driver's test. I've never done it.
I'm really good at parallel parking to the left. The right is shaky. Okay. Which is weird because I'm right-handed, but I could left back into almost any space. I'm pretty decent, but I miss hard too sometimes. I guess just like a lot of people do. But yeah, I hate doing it too. I absolutely hate doing it. Parallel parking is the freaking worst, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse.
Some other comments. Cassandra says, Walt, that's pathetic. This is about my laundry.
The laundry.
I don't know. Buying more clothes, you don't have to do laundry. It's not that pathetic. I feel like the fact that I'd never figure it out. Maybe I don't know. I feel like I could have made more friends in the laundry room, but at the same time, I was always so busy working on my website that I never really had that much time.
Yeah.
I always like that. That was always taking the priority over schoolwork. Like if I had a project due and I had to like update my site for NFL games, I would always update my site and I'd just be like, I'll just figure it out with schoolwork. I always just held priority for me.
Wow, I guess like if you're going home, like you could definitely make that work if you're going home like between if you're going home at least like every 2 months. Yeah. That's crazy though to me. I mean, I did a decent amount of laundry. I think maybe my freshman year I separated the whites and colors. But not after that. Let me tell you something. People are like, oh, you should use warm water, hot water, or you should separate it. Not once has anything bad ever happened when I put my whites and colors together in the laundry. Nothing bad has ever happened.
Yeah, I don't separate mine here in my house. So yeah, I never got that either.
I don't know. I guess I just don't. I don't understand all the settings. Like, why does it need? I mean, I guess if you're getting stains out, but like my clothes are just like worn. Like I don't really get a lot of stain. Well, I guess from time to time, like I spill some food on myself, but I don't need like hot. Like I always wash with cold water. And I don't know, it works. Like just throw it in the dryer. I never needed like any special settings.
Yeah, I always click delicates and then hit start. I never do anything.
Oh, you like to wash the delicates?
No, always click it. I always have it on the delicate setting because I feel like my washer is like too aggressive. Like sometimes it'll make holes and stuff because on normal. But I found that delicates was better. So that's my setting. But I don't know. Sue says Chris Christopherson lyric from one of his songs. I put on my cleanest dirty shirt.
We've all been there. Yeah.
that was my life at Penn State. The change to DST must be rather stressful for Quacky since he loses an hour to be early.
I'm telling you, I haven't been right since, Lou. Thanks for joining.
And in fact, it says had Cauley last week in 90-1. He was tied for first round 2-3 in the afternoon. Sweating bullets. I also love PJ DFS that Bet365 has. They have free contests for every round and overall. Yeah, you were saying that, Patrick. I told you this before we started recording, Tom. I had my best contest of DFS ever today without winning. I entered in 12 entries into the round 3 showdown just using the model that I have on the site. I always post my top 20, and I entered, like I said, I had 12 entries. I cashed all of them, every single 12. One of the 12. I had fifth place. I think I had 15th and 16th as well. So I was up there at 3 in the top 20. So that was awesome. I couldn't believe I cashed all of them. There wasn't even like one stray that was bad. Like they were all really good. So we were on point with the Houston Open. I mean, we have Minwoo Lee at 40-1. We had Davis Thompson had a huge day today. He was in first for a while. Yeah, I mean, we could get into it in a little bit, but I'm feeling good about this tournament and how we handicapped it.
Congrats on the DFS, man. That's tremendous. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Did you see? I saw something right before I logged on with the show here with you. They were going to bring back, remember NBA Inside Stuff with Ahmad Rashad?
Are they? Is Ahmad Rashad going to be on it?
I don't know. Like I'm just seeing like I just kind of I didn't even read the article. I just kind of saw. Let's see.
He's 75 years old, by the way.
Is he really?
Yeah, I just Googled it. That's
I guess that makes sense. I mean, because when he was like doing all like, I would say like his heyday, at least in the 90s, he was always at the Bulls games too. I mean, I always loved Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah.
He was one of the greats, and I loved NBA Inside Stuff because it was geared towards kids, and I loved it. I never missed it.
Yeah,
but I guess back then,
watched a lot too.
Yeah, I loved it. But I guess back in the 90s, he was probably in his 40s, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Hannah Storm was on that too, right?
Yeah, I loved Hannah Storm.
She's
and what was the other guy?
Now.
Holy cow! Who was the other Peter? Gray beard. Was it Peter?
I don't know. I
I can't
always
think
knew
of his
those
name.
two, but I can't remember the other one. Maybe someone in the chat can help us. But that was
Yeah.
no, that was a great show. And anything to make the NBA better because it's all threes nonstop. Although we did hit two of our 3-player props today. The only one that lost was Porzingis, and he had foul trouble all night. It was so frustrating. He was he was always in and out of the lineup. Actually somehow played his backup in DFS and DraftKings.
Oh, wow.
I min cashed that one, but because the Spurs are really bad against centers, so I thought Porzingis would go over 19.5 points because he was in foul trouble. He only had like 11 or 13. But his backup, because the usual backup was out, Al Horford. So Luke Cornett was playing. Is going to play as the backup. He was super cheap, so I put him into the lineup just because I was like, oh, he'll play like 20 minutes, and like he'll do well because the Spurs are bad against centers. He ended up playing like 30 plus minutes because like because Porzingis is out of the lineup. He had like 13 points, 14 rebounds. Like he just went nuts. This guy, like super cheap, and I'm like, I was looking at my lineup. I'm like, I had this guy. He's like 10% owned, and he's going off. I'm like, how am I not like close to winning this? Just because like I had like Josh Giddey who like did nothing, but it was at least still min cash. So I'm still Peter Vesey.
Peter Vesey, that's right.
My
Nice.
dad hated Peter Vesey. My dad hated Peter Vesey.
What? Why?
He's 81. I don't know. He apparently was always anti-Sixer or something.
That'll do it.
Yeah, my dad, diehard Sixers and Flyers fan. He like, I don't know, Peter Vesey like once said something bad about the Sixers, and like my dad has held this grudge against Peter Vesey. He hasn't been on TV, I'm sure, for a while. The next time I see my dad, I'm gonna bring up Peter Vesey and still see if he like hates him. Like I'm sure my dad would be like, I hate that effing like it's so like you should see like I wish I could like air what my dad says about Adam Silver, the current NBA commissioner. Yeah. He hates Adam Silver so much.
Oh, really?
You think he like spat in his coffee or something, or did something like that, or it was he hates him so much. Like he goes on these like rants of like 30 curse words in a row. It's like Stallone in Demolition Man when he was cursing at the curse thing where he got all those slips so he could use it as toilet paper. Like that's how my dad talks about Adam Silver. He hates him so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, yeah. Man. I mean, I'm indifferent. Did you like David Stern? I liked David Stern. Like, I don't know, like just he truly to me, like he was like the face of the league. Like, I don't know. He was just like, he looked the part to me. Like, I don't know. I first saw him in the 90s. You know what was I thought was kind of sad when I've watched the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, at least 100 times. I'm not kidding. And you see David Stern. It came out because David Stern passed away on New Year's Day 2020, and it came out like a couple months after his passing. And there's a scene in there, like I think he was presenting Michael Jordan the MVP or something, and he was just doing a side interview. He's like, "This is an exciting time in the life of the league and in my life too," because he was so happy to like see Michael Jordan. And I don't know, it's just kind of like, I mean, I don't really know anything that he's about. Otherwise, he was just like a memorable figure of like the NBA, like my childhood of watching the NBA, which was great to me because that was the best era of the NBA, the 90s.
No, 100%,
without a doubt. And it's just, it's kind of sad to see that, knowing like watching him, hear him say that, and he had already passed away. So I always remember, I don't know, I always like the way he spoke with the first pick. Like Anthony Bennett. Remember?
Oh man, what a terrible pick.
You ever I got in an argument with Howard Eskin once on 610 WIP.
Oh, I despise Howard Eskin.
Oh no,
he ripped off one of Charlie's stories. Charlie Campbell was the first person to report that John Gruden was going back into coaching, and then like 2 hours later, Howard Eskin reported it without citing us, and we even like contacted him like can you at least like cite us as a source? And then I actually got in touch with Mike Missinelli, who's also on Philadelphia radio.
I talked to him,
yeah. He's I would communicate with him sometimes on Twitter. He'd be like, yeah, I'm not. He's like, I'm not surprised Howard Eskin stole your story. He's like an effing piece of s. Like
Wow.
yeah.
He yelled at me once.
What did Eskin? Why did Eskin yell at you?
Because I called in making fun of the Eagles after they lost the Cardinals in that NFC Championship game.
What did you say? And then what did he say?
I was because I was so happy, as you know, because I didn't care for that era of the Eagles too much. And remember, we each really loved Arizona.
Yep.
That's one of this could sound strange. That's one of my like fondest memories that day in that game with you. I had with you. I remember like where I was standing when I was texting you, and that was such an awesome moment, man. That was such an awesome moment. It's
I know.
Great stuff. But at the end of the first half, the Cardinals got a field goal because who was it? Quentin Demps? I don't want to say the wrong player's name. He got like way after the play, he like shoved Kurt Warner down. Like he had already thrown the ball. Like the play was there. It was a cheap shot. Gave him 15-yard penalty, and Arizona got a field goal before the half. Mm-hmm. And they went up pretty big early. I want to say they were up by like 17 or something like that. And then the Eagles did come back, and then the Eagles went up 25-24, but we were still okay because we had +4. And then they ended up winning 32-25. But it was a really good game. But I remember I was like, wow, like Andy Reid doesn't have any discipline for this team. It's like, how do you give up that? Like, it's like, you weren't there. I was standing on the sidelines.
So it's funny that it's really predictable that he would do that because he always defended Andy Reid like so much because Andy Reid was one of his sources. Like he would always get info from Reid. And he also the same with Larry Brown when he was the coach of the Sixers. He would like chew out anyone who talked poorly about those coaches, and it's because he was trying to defend them so much. Like Howard Eskin, while he was like entertaining, like he was so biased with the guys he had contact with on the team, just because like he didn't want to lose his sources. So he was like he had no credibility when he was talking about them at all. I just thought that was I couldn't stop. I had to stop listening to him because like he was so biased. Like he never said a bad thing about Reid or Larry Brown, like not once.
Yeah,
you can't ever find it.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a bit of a homer, but like I didn't know that. Well, that's I met him once at the Borgata.
Oh yeah,
he used to do a show there in Borgata. I met him.
How'd that go?
It was good. That was the year that it was 08-09 season. And the Magic, and that was the year the Magic went to the finals. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And they lost the first game in the first round of the Sixers. And so I was just like talking to him about that game. Like, what do you think? I was like, what do you think the Sixers could actually beat? And he's like, nah, I don't think so.
Did you bring up that he yelled at you on air?
Well, this was like a year later. Actually, no. I guess it was just a few months later.
Yeah. No, because if it was spring of 09, that already happened.
No,
right?
because
no, that was right. For some reason, I thought that was the 08 season.
No, I guess that's right. It
would
have
had
to
have
have been.
Yeah, it was the 08 season, and so it would have been.
It would have been 3 months later, ish, give or take.
That you met him, yeah.
Well, and then the NBA playoffs started, which was April, and the game was like I called the day after the game, or like a couple days after the game.
Yeah, which
would have been in January. So I guess I saw him like 3 months later, and I met him, but like I wasn't like, oh, I was the guy. Like he probably wouldn't remember me anyway.
No.
What would I say? Like anyhow, like I'm just on there trolling anyway, you know.
Right.
I'm just like, what does it matter at the end of the day? Like, who am I? I'm just trying to poke the bear a little bit. I like to stir the pot a little bit, Walter.
Yeah, of course. Stone Papa Smurf asking, why were you guys into the Cardinals? Do you want to answer that, Tom?
Oh, geez, I'll just never forget, man. Let me tell you something about Philadelphia teams, especially the Eagles. And Walt, we've been saying this to each other for over 20 years now. When all the chips are down with Philly teams, especially the Eagles, that like they'll pull off some victory they're not supposed to have, and then whenever like as soon as the sentiment is, oh, they're so great, they always lose a stupid game. It happens almost every time. And remember that year they upset the 1 seed Giants, who were the defending Super Bowl champions that year. The Eagles had to win the last game of the season against Dallas just to get into the playoffs. And now they find themselves in the NFC Championship game against the Cardinals, who have been perennial basement dwellers. So nobody ever thought that could happen. and people were calling into 610 WIP. I already got my tickets to Tampa. The Super Bowl was in Tampa. And I was like, oh no. No way. I knew then the Eagles were not going to win that game. I was certain in that moment. And I remember you and I talked about it forever. And I was like shaking with excitement. I was so sure. Because it's like, how could just seeing everyone get so excited about the Eagles? Because I was living in the greater Philadelphia area at the time. And I was like, there's no way they're going to win this game. We were talking about that day. I remember texting you. I was at work. I remember exactly where I was texting you. I was like, I feel like such a square liking the Cardinals because it just seems so easy. And you were like, dude, like all the money is on the Eagles. It was like maybe like 80, 90% in that range. And as soon as you said that, I was certain.
Can I read you my recap? I have my pick here.
Okay.
It's five units. There are some interesting psychological dynamics here. The obvious is Arizona's continued us against the world mentality. You saw it against Carolina. No one expected the Cardinals to win, and they let the nation know that they were for real. Only no one listened. After last week's games were over, everyone on SportsCenter was talking about a Keystone Super Bowl. On Monday morning, ESPN.com had a picture of McNabb holding up the phone in the Giants game. The caption read, "Tampa is calling." The writer of the article declared that the Cardinals have no chance. I really don't understand why the Cardinals have no chance. They just debacled Carolina, as they completely dominated them on both sides of the ball. Why are they worse than the Eagles? As I mentioned, their defense has improved, and if anything, their offense is more balanced and explosive. Some people point out the Philadelphia's 48-20 debaclation over Arizona on Thanksgiving night.
Price of milk.
Yep, there we go. I had the Eagles -3 for 5 units in that contest, and I'll tell you that the price of milk, or in Al Davis's case, the price of goat blood, has more to do with this game than the outcome. I love the Eagles in that spot because the Cardinals are playing on a short week and had to fly out to the East Coast. The Eagles, coming off an embarrassing Ravens loss in which McNabb was just justly benched, had their backs against the wall. No one believed in them. In fact, Philadelphians wore black to that game to signify the death of the McNabb-Andy Reid era. And that's exactly the thing about the Eagles. As you said, I've written repeatedly on this website that they win when the chips are down, but as soon as people start believing again, they choke. Since that Ravens contest, Philadelphia has been a true favorite only twice. Only one game was against the craptastic Browns on a Monday night, so throw that out. The other was Washington. The Eagles played one of the worst games of the year, and they lost 10-3. Now the Eagles are expected to win again. With everyone already penciling them into the Super Bowl, they seem poised for one of their epic collapses, right up there with the Tampa Bay Carolina NFC Championship losses and the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. I love the Cardinals 7-2 at home this year to win or at least cover for all these reasons. If you like them, wait till Sunday. This line could be -4 by kickoff. I hope all this typing was worth it. I'm confident that I've developed carpal tunnel just from this write-up.
Beautifully read, man. Beautifully written. I'll never forget that one, man. That's a good memory I have with you. That was so, like another one was, it always involves the Eagles, it seems. When we like the Eagles, remember I came over to your house in July of that year.
Eagles Vikings.
Yeah, Eagles Vikings, and I was like in week 2, like we haven't even like looked at anything yet, and I was like, oh, and you liked it too, and I remember I pulled up to Wawa that morning, and I was actually shaking.
Really?
I was actually shaking because I knew the Eagles were going to win and cover easily, and they did. But I was scared too because I thought if I get this wrong, like I'm going to question like everything. Like that's I very, very rarely have I gotten that feeling. Very rarely have I got that. Maybe only that that aforementioned Cardinals game. And and then the Eagles again this year. Remember on opening night. Remember I was talking about it in the summer. Yeah, over the
Y2K pick.
yeah, that was right. That was my Y2K pick. Congratulations to all those subscribed to the Y2K picks.
Yeah, I bet them because you like them so much. Great call on your part.
But I was nervous about that. I was shaking that day too. I guess so. Every time I get the shakes, I'll just text you. I'm like, I got the shakes on this one, man.
Yeah, I'll try to make you feel better.
That would really. It's like, man, like I'd question everything I ever knew about like picking teams. I feel like if I miss those, because there was never any doubt in my mind. And for the most part, they were all like pretty, like we didn't really have to sweat too many of them out. The Eagles Cardinals, the Eagles were up 25-24, but we did have them +4. So we were probably good there.
Yeah.
But all the others. Oh no, I guess that's not true. This Eagles won this year. We did have to sweat out. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
That was
it
a
was
great game. Everyone,
yeah, they needed that field goal at the end to get there, but
huh,
yeah, they did. So
that was
I mean
great.
that was a weird game. The only reason like I didn't like fully support your pick, although I did bet it, but just because it was like an international game in Brazil, like they had never played there before. I don't know how it would affect both teams. Like if it was a neutral game here in the US, I would have felt a lot better about it, but I just didn't know. Like there's just like a weird dynamic we just didn't know about. You know?
Yeah, and your point had merit. Clearly, we saw them slipping all over the field the entire
horrible.
game. Yeah,
they're gonna have another game in Brazil this year. Like I wonder if they're gonna clean it up. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, but I remember I was telling a buddy of mine that that I was like, the Eagles are definitely going to win this game, and he's like, I'll bet you $50 right now that the Packers win. I was like, wait, you're just going to give me like Eagles money line for like even money? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. He paid me. He gave me the $50. I couldn't believe it. I was like, thanks.
Nice.
There was no doubt in my mind. I mean, yeah, we did have to sweat. So like, but I had interest because I took the money line too, in addition to the minus. What were they, -2? Oh wait, it still would have pushed, I guess. But
yeah,
I guess
it was either a push or a win, depending on the field goal. Which, like, you know, it's nice that Elliott hit the field goal there because he missed the 2 extra points in the Rams game in the divisional round, which that cost us. That was the only time we got the Eagles wrong in the playoffs.
I picked the Rams on the show. Remember?
You did, yeah, you did. It was really so disappointing that he missed the 2 extra points.
I know.
It was one would have pushed it, the other would have covered. That's disappointing. Let's get into our power rankings real fast. With 2 comments before we do. Stu says David Stern, he sold out the Sonic. He sold the Sonics out at POS. Yeah, he did. He also blocked one of the trades. Was it the Chris Paul trade? I think.
Yeah.
And then there were accusations that he rigged the games against the Kings. So I mean.
Oh yeah, let's not.
There are bad things about it. I don't know. I thought he was a good face for the league, but there were some shady things that happened. I do think he's better than Adam Silver, though. I don't like Adam Silver at all.
I miss the Sonics and their colors.
I know. It was great. I hope they come back. And then Patrick says, speaking of golf, went through old photos and saw my PGA Rainmakers cards earlier this weekend. Got super sad at no longer winning free money. Yeah, it sucks. I really miss Rainmakers. It was so much fun. But they do have So Rare. I don't know if you ever checked out SoRare.com. They don't have NFL or PGA, but they do have NBA and baseball. They also have soccer for those weirdos who like soccer out there. But you know, NBA and baseball, like they have it. It's not as good as Rainmakers was because Rainmakers had like some big contests. But here, it's So Rare, you could play for free. Like the core cards that used to cost like a little bit of money on DraftKings Rainmakers, the core card's actually free. Now it is harder to go up a tier, but like if you finish in the top whatever percent of the free contest, you actually get like a rare card, and then you could either sell it or use it to enter in a contest, and eventually you can win money. Like the highest tier like pays out like $5,000 to first place. The rare tier pays out like they have semi-weekly contests, so like they usually have like Monday to Thursday and then Friday to Sunday. So they pay like the rare, I think pays out like 700 or 1,000 the first. I think it's 1,000 the first, and then the elite level pays out like 2,400 the first. The legendary tier pays out 4,000 the first, and then the Rainmaker tier it's called unique on So Rare. It pays out 5,400 I think the first. So it's not like you'd see like 20,000 the first, unfortunately, but I think they're starting up, and like the prizes this year were more than they were last year. So you know, they're growing, I think, and they're probably going to be more next year too. So it's fun. I like it. It's not as good as Rainmakers, but it's like a decent replacement, even though they don't have NFL or PGA, which is my favorite. And the rig at Ewing there. Yeah, there's no way of proving that, but it's probably rigged.
Ewing is a Nick. Remember that old call when the sportscaster said like they knew the Knicks were taking him. Mm-hmm. They announced it on the night like he's a Nick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I feel like poor Patrick Ewing always ran into like the wrong end of Michael. I mean, who didn't run? You know.
Yeah. Stockton Malone ran into him.
Yeah, I still can't believe that they should have won that. They should have won that finals against. They were up 3-2 in the finals. Remember that was when the OJ thing was going down.
Yeah. Look, if it wasn't for Jordan, Malone, Stockton would have had rings. Barkley would have had a ring. Ewing would have had a ring.
Reggie Miller, yeah.
Reggie Miller would have had a ring. Like, it's
How about
guys were blocked by it.
What about my beloved Orlando Magic?
Well, yeah. Well, you ran into Hakeem, right, in '94. So I mean, he was a monster too. All right, let's get into my power rankings. I'm gonna go by group here. So I'm gonna do all the Group A teams, and then we can discuss, and then Group B, etc. So Group A, this is the elite teams. I think there's 7 of them, if I remember correctly. The Eagles at number 1. You know, obviously coming off the Super Bowl, they lost some guys on the defensive line, but I think they're going to be okay. Number 2, Rams. This is controversial, maybe. They were the team that came closest to beating the Eagles in the playoffs. They added Devontae Adams. They added some other guys, as a good linebacker, for example. They retained Alaric Jackson. They retained Matthew Stafford. They have a great coach. I think this team is so well-rounded. You have Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk in their second years. Verse is going to be a monster. I really like this Rams team. Bills number 3 with Joey Bosa. I think they've improved there. Number 4 is the Chiefs. They lost Joe Thuney, but they got Jalen Moore. So I still like them quite a bit. I don't think they're as good as the Bills, but we'll see if the Bills can finally beat them. Number 5, the Redskins. Cassandra could laugh at me, but I had them at 3 last time, and they got Laramie Tunsil. They got Deebo Samuel. I think this team's really good. Number 6 is the Vikings. I think. The most underrated team in the NFL right now. FanDuel published their NFC power rankings. They had the Vikings at 10. And I quote tweeted, I'm like, I think we're going to be betting the Vikings a lot this year because they have them as the 10th best NFC team. I had them as the 6th best overall team. This roster is awesome. Number 7, Ravens. So I finally have them in Group A. I love the signing of Chidobe Awuzie. We'll see if he can stay healthy. That's an issue. But if he can stay healthy, that finally solidifies the secondary. So what are your thoughts on my Group A teams, the 7 here? What do you think?
Get the Chiefs out of there, man.
I don't see, dude. I had this conversation with Butters, who came on the show on Wednesday and Thursday. He was also anti-Chiefs, and I've spoken to a lot of people who are anti-Chiefs. I'm like, they have such a high floor. When Alex Smith was the quarterback, they would go to the playoffs every year. Like Alex Smith, and now they have Mahomes, who's a million times better than Alex Smith. There's such a high floor with this team. They have a good defense. They still have Andy Reid. As long as Andy Reid's coaching and Mahomes is on the field, they're going to be in the playoffs. And I know they had a lot of close wins last year, but they didn't have Rashee Rice. They didn't have a left tackle. Xavier Worthy was a rookie. And now they're just going to be better. They have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. That's a good 1-2 punch. Marquise Brown was out for most of the year. He's going to be healthy. So their 3 receivers are pretty decent. They're, like I said, better left tackle. We'll see if they can replace Thuney in the draft. They can get a guard, maybe a 31. No, I think this team is definitely legit.
I think they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs this year.
I mean, look, I think that could always happen. It's the best of 1. It depends who they play. Obviously, we don't know who they're going to be matched up against. But yeah, look, they could always lose in the first round of the playoffs. Well, I didn't have the Broncos in my Group A, as you may have noticed.
Wow. Okay.
Where do you think? What group do you think I have the Broncos in?
You probably put them in C. But I think they should be B.
Well, they were in C. They were in C all year last year. So, Stone Papa Smurf, I've been betting Rams futures. I put some money on the Rams. That was it was a bonus bet money, so it wasn't official money. I'm going to announce that I'm going to bet the Rams to win the Super Bowl, like real money. So I love this team. I think they're so good. The NFC is so stacked too. It's going to be such a great playoff run with these teams. I think there's so many good NFC teams. Rams should win the division. I think so too. But the Niners are favored over the Rams. We don't have divisional odds yet, but the Niners have. I think they're 17-1. The Rams are 22-1. So the Niners, I think, are going to open as NFC West favorites, and we bet the Rams to win the division last year, 4-1, and we're going to do it again. We're not going to get 4-1, but we're going to get a better number than the Niners for sure.
The thing about the Niners, they have such an easy schedule, though.
Yeah, but it's the same division, so the Rams are going to have a pretty easy schedule too. We could look at the Rams schedule. Let's see here. That's not it. All right, let's just hold on. Yeah, here we go. It's gonna be too difficult. Let's just do Ram schedule 2025 and see what we come up with here. I can't imagine it's that much difficult. All right, so we're gonna ignore divisional games. At Atlanta, at Baltimore, that's a lot tougher. At Carolina, at Carolina, at Jacksonville, New Orleans, Tampa, Houston, Indy, Detroit, at Eagles. Okay, so they have Eagles, Lions, and Ravens, whereas the 49ers don't have those teams, and that's the difference of like being first place schedule versus second place schedule. So yeah, I mean, look, the schedule is definitely tougher than what the Niners have, but I don't think it's like that difficult. Like they have Detroit at home, they have Houston at home, and so like their two toughest games are at Baltimore, at Philadelphia. So yeah, we'll see. And at Philadelphia's a revenge game.
Oh, true. You know, I don't know. It's going to be. I'll be interested. I mean, it can definitely happen, of course, but I'll be interested to see what the odds are on that.
Yeah.
Whenever they do come out. What about the mighty Green Bay Packers this year? Where are they? I didn't see them in A.
Would you put them in A?
No. That doesn't mean I don't think you should.
Okay. So Papa Smurf said Rice should get in trouble for walking away from his wrecked car. Yeah, it's on video. Yeah, for sure. We'll see what happens with that. All right, so let's get to the Group B teams. Detroit, number 8. They lost both coordinators. That's why they're not Group A. I think they take a step back, but I still think they're going to be pretty good. Chargers are number 9. They lost Joey Bosa, but they still have good pass rushers. They were 8-0 straight up and against the spread against Group D and Group F last year. So it's like that means they were 3-6 otherwise. So that needs to be cleaned up. They need to do better against good teams, but you know, Jim Harbaugh coach teams are going to do well when they need to win. Or expected to win. Here's your Denver Broncos in Group B.
Yeah, okay.
Show some respect. Look, they were not a Group B team last year. They were a fraud last year, but now because they signed Evan Ingram, Drake Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, this team is going to be a lot better. Bo Nix is going to have experience. So this team is not going to be a fraud like they were last year. I think they are legit.
Going to draft a tight end, I bet.
Well, they already have Evan Ingram, so they don't have to. I think they will draft the tight end early, like in the first 3 rounds, but not necessarily at number 20, because they don't need to. They have Ingram, you know. But I don't think that would like necessarily stop them. I talked about this before. Like the Bills drafted Dalton Kincaid in the first round when they already had Dawson Knox signed to a big contract, you know. So it could definitely happen, but I don't think they need to necessarily in the first round. I think they would take Tyler Warren if he was there, though. Like I think that's like the latest he goes.
Now, keep in mind the Denver Broncos lost little Jordan Humphrey.
Yes, he's gone. He's with the Giants, so I'm sure the Giants are going to have.
They paired him up with Russell Wilson. He's literally the best in the league right now.
Yeah, and they have the best quarterback and the best receiver in the NFL.
You think that they're not going to improve? I mean, they're going to improve.
I think they get worse with Russell Wilson. Actually, like all kidding aside, he's horrible. I thought they'd be better with Jameis Winston. In fact, I think that I would rank him as the 7th best quarterback in the NFC East. I would go.
I think you're being harsh.
No, I think I'm being kind because he could be 8th maybe, but 7th, I would say I don't like Jalen Hurts. I'd say Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts is 1, and then Jane Daniels is 2, but that could easily flip flop. I don't know. 3 is Dak Prescott. 4, I would say is Jameis Winston. 5 is the Irish assassin Tanner McKee. 6 is Marcus Mariota, and 7 is Russell Wilson.
What if he came back and just like found his way back on the great track, and he was just lights out, dude, throwing like dimes to neighbors.
I mean, he had 3 great games last year when he came in, like that second half against the Jets. He had a few others. That one of the games against the Bengals, he was awesome. But he kind of stunk up the joint a lot late in the year, and he's old. He's 37. So like, I don't know. We haven't seen him play really well for a whole season in 3 years. He's 36, not 37. But no, I mean, like it was his last year in Seattle was his last like really good year, and even that wasn't even that great. There was a decline that they had there. The Broncos don't scare me, but the Monocore statue of Lucifer at Denver Airport does. Yeah, there's some theories about the Denver airport that there are like underground tunnels where I don't know, like something weird goes down there.
Oh wow.
I was there once. I visited my girlfriend who lived in Boulder, Colorado. So I've been to the Denver airport. I didn't like notice anything weird there. I can't even remember the demonic horse statue, but I don't know. But I have heard like theories that like there's some weird stuff going on under it. As Sue says, a big part of Russell Wilson's game was running ability plus escapability. That is gone. Yeah, that is definitely a huge issue.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here?
We're going to finish up Group B. We have the Niners at number 11. They lost a lot of personnel, but their schedule is so easy. And that's it. No Packers here. What are your thoughts?
Get out of town, man. What are you down in Green Bay now?
I don't know. I'm not. Look, this is a preview here. Packers are number 12. They're the top team in Group C. I don't know if I'd put them in Group B though. Like I don't see them being as good as the Lions, Chargers, Broncos, and Niners. I think they are a little bit behind them. There's no Christian Watson. That's a huge deal. Like when they haven't had Christian Watson in the Jordan Love era, they've been so much worse without the deep threat, and they didn't add a receiver. Now if they trade up for like Tedero and McMillan, and they get their number one receiver, then I think I would put them in Group B. But without Christian Watson, they just have no downfield playmaking ability, and I think that's going to make them worse.
But I just still feel like they have more depth. Like they have a lot of depth still, and I don't. I mean, Love had a lot of injuries last year. Like I think if he comes back and he's healthy, like they're gonna they won 11-6 last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think they're gonna be all right. I think they're going to be better. I'd put them above the Broncos for sure. I'm surprised to hear. Well, if you feel this way, I
think the Broncos have a top 5 defense. The Packers do not. Their defense is okay. It's just, but like they don't have much of a pass rush. It's just mediocre defense, mediocre offense. I think they're just a mediocre team.
What about Josh Jacobs, man? He was awesome last year.
Yeah, Jacobs. I love Jacobs. They have no downfield passing game, so like teams are going to be able to stack the box with Bill Watson.
Yeah, but what if like Dontavian Wicks goes off this year?
Well, in our
I like him.
I did 2 basketball drafts. We got Dontavian Wicks in one of them, so I hope you're right. He can have some big games. So.
Yeah, I like him. I like him.
As a Packers fan, but he's not nothing close to number 1.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I mean,
they don't have that. Like Watson, at least like he's not our number 1, but like at least he has like big playability downfield, and like they don't have anyone who has that at the moment.
How about Romeo Doubs?
Yes, he's no downfield playmaking ability. It's like a possession receiver. He's not going to burn defenses for like a 60-yard touchdown.
Right. They should have got now they got McCole Hardman, right?
Yeah, they do.
You know what's crazy about like McCole Hardman? Like, so that's the only walk off in the Super or receiving touchdown walk off in the Super Bowl. Like, think of like how many kids in the history of the world have like in their backyard, like imagine like just caught the game winning touchdown in the Super Bowl and like the game's over. And McCole Hardman is the only person to have done that. I mean, yeah, James White, that was a rushing touchdown. So he has his own, separate, fantasy there. Like, could you imagine that? Like, you did that, like, like he definitely did that. He's played football his whole life. He definitely had that thought. Like, as a kid, like, oh, and then like, and now he's the only one that's ever actually done it. That's freaking crazy, man. I'd like to interview McCole Hardman. I remember what he said after the Super Bowl. He was like, I just blacked out. He immediately, it's like, my God, man, do you realize what you've just done? You just caught the game-winning touchdown pass. Like any kid with a football in the history of like existence has always dreamed of that, and like you're the only one that's ever done that ever, and maybe will ever. Isn't it interesting? There was never an overtime in a Super Bowl until that Falcons Patriots, and then we had a second one there with the 49ers and Chiefs.
Yeah, the 28-3 comeback. I actually saw a picture of Belichick's girlfriend today wearing an Atlanta Falcons 2016
That's
Super Bowl champion shirt.
yeah. I saw a meme. I think about that. The 328
Mhm.
date. I was just thinking of that. Geez, can you what? So that Super Bowl's 9 years ago. It'll be 9 years ago this
Yeah,
coming season.
yeah.
That's freaking crazy, man.
I know,
That's
I
freaking
know.
crazy.
Yeah, that like I said, that's the first Super Bowl that Charlie and I went to. We're down. We didn't go to the actual game. We went to some media events, but we were in Houston,
Mm.
and like the stadium, we could actually walk to the stadium. That's how close we were.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, we heard like the jets flying over and stuff. So like we
Oh,
heard all the
nice.
noise. Is pretty crazy from a hotel room. And Patrick's saying, look at the portraits. They have a soldier in gas mask stabbing a dove. It's very odd. Actually, I did look it up. Let's pull it up here.
Wait, what is this?
This is at the Denver airport. They have a
Oh,
soldier in a gas mask stabbing a dove.
that's at the Denver airport.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's weird stuff at the Denver airport. Those people out there are very strange in Colorado.
I want to read up on that. I want to know more about that painting.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why, but I don't know. Maybe there's some significance to it. I just don't know. All right, let's get to Group C. I mentioned the Packers. If they're still the 12th team in the league, I think if they get like McMillan, like I said, I would move them up. Maybe past the Niners. I still think Denver might edge them out, but it's close. 13 Steelers. We'll see what happens at quarterback. Their starting quarterback right now is Mason Rudolph, so they can't be above Group C. But if they get Aaron Rodgers, then even though Rodgers is decrepit at 42, he's still going to be better than Rudolph. And I do think that there's a good chance that he bounces back from last year because he was coming off a torn Achilles last year, kind of like Kirk Cousins was. And so being 2 years removed from that, I think that he's going to be better. Tampa at 14. You talked me into moving them up. They lost Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinator, so I think they might take a step backward. But that's what I thought when they lost Dave Canales. So maybe they have a good replacement. 15 is the Bears. They're previously 23. I love what they did with their offensive line. I love the Ben Johnson hire. I don't know. I just don't really trust Caleb Williams. But they could end up being better than I have them here. 16 Houston. They lost 3 offensive linemen. They got 2 back, but the guys they signed aren't like that great. Losing Laramie Tunsil was just such a big blow, I think. And then Cincinnati at 17, probably the most mediocre team in the NFL. They have an amazing offense, but the defense is so bad. And they've done nothing in free agency to help the defense. They re-signed Chase and Higgins, but like the defense is so awful last year, and yet they didn't spend anything on the defense. So it's going to be the same thing. 18 Falcons, Michael Penix Jr. They could definitely be higher than Tampa. I think I would give Tampa the edge right now. Very slight edge, but it's like almost 50-50 between those two teams in the division. 19 Jaguars, I think they're going to be better with Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been healthy the past 2 years, so if he can stay healthy and Liam Cohen provides an upgrade over Doug Peterson, which shouldn't be that difficult, then I think the Jaguars could be like back and like near playoff contention in a weaker AFC. And then 20 Cardinals. Kyler Murray, can't trust him to stay healthy, but they got Josh Sweat, so their defense is going to be better. 22 more teams. 21, the Raiders. They got Geno Smith, which makes them mediocre. It's basically like I think I forget who said it, but that trade for Geno Smith basically makes them like the Seahawks with Geno Smith. They're going to be a team that like is on the fringe of the playoffs. So like even if they get in, they lose right away, but they probably won't get in. And then 22, the Dolphins. You can't trust Tua. But just like Kyler Murray, you can't trust Tua to stay healthy. Their offensive line is still bad. If they could find a way to upgrade their offensive line in the draft, I'll like them a lot more. But yeah, so I mean, it's a big Group C, a lot of mediocre teams in the NFL. So what do you think about this group?
You should switch out a lot of your C's and B's there, man. You don't like the Bears?
I don't trust Caleb Williams.
I know. I'm just joking about the Bears.
Okay.
The Texans are in C. Let's see. Keep going down. I don't know. I think maybe you could. Who's below the Bengals?
Houston's offensive line is a disaster. Atlanta.
Oh, the Falcons. How do you not love Michael Penix, man?
I like Penix.
Just you wait. Just you wait. I think they're going to exceed some expectations this year with Michael Penix. He got a little experience under his belt, but at the end of the season, like I think he's going to ride that little momentum He has. I think Penix is going to do well on that Falcons team. So don't sleep on the Falcons. Don't sleep on the Falcons. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm not. I think they're a fine team. I don't know. Yeah, I like what they did on defense. Leonard Floyd, Morgan Fox, Jordan Fuller. I think they're a decent team. I could see them being higher than this for sure. And yeah, Jacksonville, Arizona, Raiders, Dolphins. All right, Group
Jacksonville's another team I'd like to exceed expectations this year. Take that for whatever that's worth to you.
Yeah, I have a 4-13 team at number 19. You know, I think it's fine. I think they could. I think they're like 50-50 to make the playoffs. I think it could really go either way. Like if Lawrence stays healthy and Cohen's good, then I think they make the playoffs. If Cohen's a bad coach or Lawrence gets hurt again, then they won't make the playoffs.
Let me tell you something. Atlanta Falcons to win the NFC. I'm telling you what if Penix comes out and has like a Jaden Daniels run, man, and they get like a decent draft pick? I believe in Penix. I'm interested to see.
Conference winners. Oh wait, that's 8. Wait, no. Why is this out of AFC Championship winner? Okay, I think I scrolled too far. Because I saw like the Rams and AFC Championship winner. I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah. Falcons 33-1 to win the NFC.
33-1. I don't know, man. I might be interested in that. What if they kind of say they went like 12-5 won the division? You know what I mean? Now you'd be holding a pretty like decent. That could happen. I think Penix is going to be good. You know, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah, I think the NFC is so stacked. It's going to be so hard. Like, I'd rather take the Rams at 9-1 or the Vikings at 19-1. Personally, I think both those teams are better than the Falcons. But yeah, obviously you don't get the same sort of odds. I don't hate 33-1. I don't hate. I think it's okay. I think it's fine odds. Like they're better than Arizona, or it's 22-1. They're better than Seattle, 26-1. Tampa's 15-1. Like I think they're equal. Tampa and Atlanta should be the same price.
I'm just saying, like they've got some good pieces on their team, and it's like all of a sudden, like let's say they do go like 12-5, like somehow find themselves in the 3 seed. You know, like maybe they've got great pieces on the team, man. You know, I don't know if Penix. I really believe in Penix. I'm saying don't sleep on the Falcons, and hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I think they're going to be a team that also exceeds expectations for whatever it's worth to all of y'all.
So I'm saying Penix has a dozen years of experience in college. He's been around for a while. Yeah,
I love the man.
Yeah. Okay. So Group D teams. These are bad teams, but not the worst of the worst. Colts, Group D. If I had more faith in Anthony Richardson, they'd be in Group C. I just don't. Although Daniel Jones could do better. Saints, who have zero depth. They have good starters, but they have zero depth. So if they have injuries again, they're going to fall apart. Seattle without Geno Smith. Sam Darnold's there. This is not going to be the same Darnold from last year because he won't have Kevin O'Connell coaching him. He won't be able to throw Justin Jefferson. There's no TJ Hawkinson. You can compare Jackson Smith-Njigba with Jordan Addison, and that's fine. But and that offensive line is awful too. The interior of their offensive line, tackles are okay. The interior of the offensive line in Seattle is just so bad, probably the worst in the NFC. So yeah, they're a Group D team. Cowboys, I think they'll be better than they were last year because they're probably going to be healthier, but at the same time, they have a lot of issues. Their coaching sucks. Offensive line has a lot of problems. So I think they're a Group D team. And then Carolina, they were better last year, but they still had an awful defense. We'll see. They made some nice upgrades. They signed Deshaun Wharton, Bobby Brown, Trevon Moehrig, Patrick Jones. Like they'll help defense, but the defense still was last in pressure rate, and I don't know if they're gonna really get that much better. The Jets at 28. We'll see what Justin Fields does. Maybe he'll live up to expectations, but probably not. And then the Patriots. I didn't like the Stephon Diggs signing, but at least that's something that they did with the receivers. The only reason the Patriots aren't in Group F is because I like Mike Vrabel so much. I feel like he can get them into an upper echelon. Go from an F team to a D team. And plus Drake May has a lot of upside too, but he doesn't really have any support with the offensive line. So, what do you think about this Group D group?
Well, the thing that sticks out to me the most here is the Indianapolis Colts. Let me tell you something. If Daniel Jones is named the starter, I'm making an executive decision now. If Jones is named the starter on week 1, I don't care who they're playing. We're putting the Colts on the Super Contest card.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
like
that's gonna. I'd like to start Daniel Jones and maybe Josh Downs or something.
I can see. Jones has never had a fair shake in the NFL, and like maybe we're just making too many excuses for him. But with the Giants, he never had a good offensive line except for 1 year was somewhat decent. 2022, he only had Saquon Barkley like for 1 or 2 healthy seasons. Barkley tore his ACL at one point and then was never healthy the next year. He never had a number 1 receiver until Neighbors in his final year, and so that was like a half a season. And the coaching was never that great. So like he never had a good chance. And now in Indianapolis, they have a good offensive line, good coach, I think, with Steichen. They have 2 good receivers in Pittman and Downs. And maybe they'll draft, they could draft maybe Tyler Warren at 14 to really help him out. So he's going to have a much better chance in Indianapolis than he did with the Giants. But at the same time, maybe he sucks. Maybe he just sucks. But I think that it'll be interesting to see how he does with like a better like roster around him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see when the schedule's not out yet, right?
No, it'll be like it's usually like the first week or second week in May after the draft is over. So we won't know yet.
I mean, it'll probably be the Jaguars or something, probably divisional game, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if that, we know how that goes. If it's in Jacksonville always wins. If it's Indianapolis,
but I'm telling you, this year, if it's in Jacksonville and Daniel Jones is the starter, I'm calling Daniel Jones to break the streak. I really am. I'm not afraid.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid.
Daniel Jones deep ball sad.
There's a chance that could be a Y2K pick, Walter.
Well, we'll have to see the line and the opponent. We don't know anything yet.
Yeah, I know, but like that, I have that kind of feeling about it.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's for the viewers, I'm not calling it a Y2K. We don't even know the opponent.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if those things, I mean, a few things are going to have to happen.
Yeah.
You can't be the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like,
Andy Reid all summer to prepare for a game. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want Chiefs. You don't want Ravens. You don't want Rams. Those are the three of the best coaches in the NFL when it comes to preparing for Week 1. Harbaugh, McVay, and Reid. Like they're just destroy the opponents. Which was a shame this year because the Ravens and Chiefs played against each other in Week 1, and so we never had that opportunity. You know, who the Rams play? Who the Rams play Week 1? I kind of forget.
I can't remember.
They played the Lions. It's funny.
That's right.
They should have. They would have covered the spread after regulation, but they didn't cover because it went to overtime. But still, like the fact that they went into Detroit and Puka Nacua got hurt too. If that didn't happen, they probably would have beaten Detroit. You know, he got hurt in the second quarter. So the Rams didn't cover. They're the right side. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's something I look for. There are 2 things I look for in Week 1, and it's all coaching based. The first is these elite coaches with preparation of, like I said, Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, McVay. And I think that Matt LaFleur has a great record too in Week 1, if I remember correctly. He didn't cover last year, but that was a great Eagles team and they hung tight with the Eagles, who were better than them, you know? And then the other thing is new coach plus new quarterback. This dynamic was, I think, 1-3 or 1-4 last year. The only team that covered was the Patriots because the Bengals just didn't show up. But yeah, anytime you have new coach plus new quarterback, it's like automatic fade in Week 1. So those are 2 things that I look for in Week 1.
All right. Well, and we're going to put this on the radar. The early season radar, our record on those picks, and the Y2K plays. It's a pretty good track record,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
we'll put it on.
Yeah, Christmas is on Thursday. How many NFL games does Rodgers schedule? He'll schedule however many games it takes to piss off my wife the most. So she's like, I could deal with 3 games. I don't want 4. It'll be 4.
Why don't they just have the games like every day, like 2 games a day?
They might as well at this point.
No, I mean that is part of the intrigue. I think that's what makes football so popular because there's more space in between the games than
right. But Goodell doesn't care about that. He's a doofus who will saturate the NFL into obscurity.
it seems like it's always on at least 4 days a week, and then 5. So Friday game, a Saturday game, and then of course Monday night, Thursday night.
Yeah, what you said is 100% correct. Like the NFL is great because you have a game, and in every other sport, it's like, okay, we're going to play the next night or the night after. In the NFL, you have to wait a week. Sometimes if it's a Thursday night game, 4 days or 6 days, whatever. If you have a bye, you have to wait 2 weeks. But still, like, you don't have these games every night, and you're just like, and it just keeps. I think it just keeps drawing the fans in because their team loses, and they're like, oh, I'm not watching this team again. But then, like 6-7 days earlier, like, okay, let's see what happens this week.
Right.
If it was the next night, people would just be like tune out. I think that's what happens in the NBA because like when you have like horrible teams if the team's good, then but like if you have like a bad team, teams are like people are not going to watch it like every night. It's just the NFL special that way.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, and I think if you overdo it, like you start putting it. I mean, we're pretty close to it being on every night now at this point.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
So, I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah, and they're talking about adding an 18th game too.
Oh, jeez,
that's horrible. I just like at what point are they gonna like? I don't know. The Super Bowl is gonna be like late February at this point if they had an 18th game, or I guess what do they like? They either have to do one of two things. They have to either push the Super Bowl back to late February, or they have to start NFL games before Labor Day. They have to do one or the other.
Just take away one preseason game.
Right, but that means they have to start before Labor Day.
Oh, okay, fair.
And historically, they always start after Labor Day because in the past they used to have games on Labor Day, but they always have bad ratings. And I don't know if Goodell's aware of that because if he's going to start on Labor Day, it's just going to be like bad ratings, and it's not going to help the league at all. This extra game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do find it's much harder for me to like be interested in. I'm not as interested in tuning into like the off day games, like on like the Friday or Saturday as much. Right. But I mean, with some exception, of course, I love to watch it on Thanksgiving, Christmas too. It's nice, But
I feel like Christmas should be for basketball. I think the NBA should start their season on Christmas. I think it starts way too early. There's no reason to have NBA games in November when the NFL is at its peak of the regular season. Like you're competing with the NFL, that's stupid. Like start your season at Christmas. That's like about when the playoffs start, and then there are no more Thursday games on during the playoffs, and so and there's only one Monday night game, so. You don't have to compete with the NFL at that point, like for a couple of weeks, but then that's it, But yeah, I mean, the NBA just starts way too early. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, usually it starts like right around Halloween, huh?
Yeah, and they keep pushing back. Like it was like October 28th this year or something, 27th.
You know what I always think about is the World Series was also dubbed the October Classic,
Right.
It's like hardly ever does it like not bleed into November now.
Yeah.
Sometimes the playoffs like don't even start until like until October. Where they used to start in September when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a league that has too many games. Baseball is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It is a lot. I do enjoy like watching. I'll watch any game if I have time. It doesn't matter who's playing. I've always enjoyed watching baseball. It's peaceful.
I haven't watched a baseball game in 15 years.
Nah, that's not true. You watched baseball games when I was making my baseball picks.
I had it on because you were on. If you weren't there, I wouldn't have watched it.
Still a lie.
you turned it on. You're the one who want to watch it.
Yeah, but you did not watch it. You did not watch it.
I was probably looking at my phone. I wasn't watching.
Let's go to a baseball game then sometime.
Yeah. My wife would be really happy that I leave the two kids with her to go to a baseball game.
Let's plan ahead. Let's go to a football game sometime.
I can't do football games. I have to cover the games. I have to write about them.
Yeah, but just let everyone know, hey, like there's going to be a delay today.
I'd be so behind. I couldn't catch up. I just can't do it.
What if I got you like a boxed seat in the VIP lounge, and you had all like the fastest internet connections, and you're covering all the games while you're there? I'll help you. I'll help you pro bono.
Well, what's the difference? Like, why even go to the game?
Well,
the same thing as just watching it here.
Yeah, but then we could be like, yo, we went to a game together.
Yeah, so who are we impressing by saying that?
Yeah, no, it would be like a fun memory we can.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hey, look, life's all about memories. I would go to the Super Bowl with you. I think.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's
pay $5,000 for tickets. It's great.
Dude, I don't know if I could. No, I guess that would be cool to say I did. Oh, imagine I bought the tickets before the season started and the Packers went. Oh,
yeah. I don't. I would only be excited about like if a team I bet on is there. I'm like an NFL sellsword. You know, if it's like, yeah, I have to be paid to like a team. I always I always get like I told you this before. People ask me like, oh, who do you like? Like, who's your favorite team? I'm like, the team I like is the one I'm betting on. I am a sellsword.
Yeah, I mean, but you've never like had like negative feelings like outside of a team that you bet on. Like you never had negative feelings like when they lost, or I mean, we've talked about this before.
When I was
depression, yeah.
When I was look, I lived in Philly my whole life, or right outside of it. My when I was a kid, I would like the Eagles. I would want the Eagles to win, just like I wanted the Sixers and Flyers, the Phillies to win. But like when I became an adult, I'm like, what's the point? Like, what's the point in liking a team? Like, I get nothing out of their wins. I just like the Eagles. If I was an Eagles fan and they just won the Super Bowl, like, how would that help me? You know, I just don't understand it.
I understand that too. It's almost like you get a stronger emotional reaction when they lose than you do when they win. Because like, yeah, like I'm lucky. I've seen my teams win five champion. I've seen the Packers win 2, and I've seen the Penguins win 3. So like, and it is exciting because it's cool to see. You know, of course, it's cool to see him win. But at the end of the day, like, okay, like once the coverage is over, like how long am I going to be like, yeah, like like Stanley Cup champions? Like, I'm happy, but it's like the high is not like quite as high as you think it's going to be. Is what I'm getting at. But like the lows, like the lows were always so much deeper for me. I mean, like that Packers Seahawks NFC Championship game, dude, that hurt me. You know, like when you get that like 500-pound weight on your chest feeling. That was the last time I got really upset. That one hurt. That one really hurt. I couldn't believe Green Bay blew that game. There's so many, and everyone wants to point. I don't like when people do this. Everyone wants to point to Brandon Bostic, but it was so much more than that. It was so much more than that. And then at that point, it was almost like it was destined to happen. Like, I don't, you know, someone actually, I guess he's like Brandon Bostic is coaching somewhere. Like I saw like a Packers page like post that he was coaching, and like I looked at the comments and everyone's like, "Oh, don't put him on the onside kick." It's like, bro, like. So guess what I did? See, I stand up for the little guy, Walter. I comment. I was like, let it go, man. Like, wish him the best. Like, I hope it goes great, dude. You know, I'm not gonna like that poor guy. He's probably has to live with that. You know, why do we got to make it harder? Like, it sucks that. I mean, we've seen that happen so many times in sports. With
he is. He coaches at Newberry College.
Newberry College. I hope he's doing. I hope it's. You know, going well. That one really hurt. I remember Game 3 of the 08-09 NBA Finals, or Game 4 rather. The Magic and the Lakers. The Magic blew that. Oh my God, they're up 3 at the very end. They were down 2-1. They're up 3, and then Dwight Howard goes to the line to shoot 2. And I know Dwight was terrible at free throws, but it's like, bro, make one. Just make one, and this game's over.
Right.
He missed them both, and then freaking Derek Fisher came down and hit a 3 to tie it. And then and then remember Petrus? I love Petrus on the Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And he even had a chance at the end of regulation. Like he had a shot, but he missed. And it's like, and then as soon as it went to overtime, I knew I knew they were going to lose. That sucked. 2 missed free throws and that layup by Courtney Lee in game 2, and the Magic are up 3-1. That one hurt. That game 4 really hurt me. But I vowed I wouldn't. I don't get like depressed about the sports anymore because it's not, like you said, it's not worth it. Why? So I can it would be exciting to see. I would be really excited if the Magic won, because I've been a Magic fan like for longer than any other team, and like they've never won anything. I mean, they made it to the finals twice, but that would mean something to me because that makes me feel like nostalgic for my childhood. Penny and Shaq, Nick Anderson, Horace Grant, Dennis Scott. That was actually, they used to say that's statistically the best starting 5 in the NBA. But of course, you had the Bulls,
Yeah.
But that Magic starting 5, that's like one of the greatest starting 5s, I think I would say, like maybe of all time.
Yeah, no, it was a great team. I just like that Derek Fisher ruined your NBA fandom, and he ruined my NBA fandom. And the last basketball team I cared about was the Sixers with Iverson. Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, with Rick Fox, and
Rick Fox,
they all drained threes. Like Larry Brown's stupidity, which again Howard Eskin would never criticize. The Sixers traded for Mutombo just so he can cover Shaq, and Larry Brown just sent double teams of Shaq despite Mutombo being in there all the time. And like, look, maybe you can say, okay, Mutombo couldn't guard Shaq on his own, but the other Lakers just drained 3 after 3 after 3 in that series. Like they must have shot like 60% from 3, just off my memory. Like they wouldn't miss. After game 1, they did. Like game 1, they struggled and the Sixers won that game, but every other game after that, they just wouldn't miss from 3. And it's all because they were just wide open because Larry Brown just continued to send double teams every single time and always backfired. So I always lost respect for him as a coach after that. Not that like he's always he's a great basketball coach, but like I think that he was definitely flawed in that like he was stubborn and just never he never like altered his coaching style because it was like something like because of what happened in that series. Like you'd think that like after seeing it like 2 or 3 games in a row of like all these guys draining threes nonstop, be like, okay, let me allow Mutombo to guard him 1-on-1 and see what happens. So he just never did it. It's terrible coaching.
I do remember that. Of course, remember that game 1, that was the only game that the Lakers lost that entire playoffs.
Yeah. Iverson stepping over Tyronn
Lue. I remember watching that live. I remember watching it live.
For one of my dad's birthdays, I got him a portrait of Iverson, of that scene where that photo of Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue and Iverson autographing the photo. He has it hanging in his office.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was an iconic moment. I remember watching that live.
Yeah,
I remember I remember exactly where I was sitting on our living room floor.
That was my favorite basketball game of all time. For a moment, I thought the Sixers had a chance to beat the Lakers, but then things changed very quickly, unfortunately.
Yeah, Allen Iverson's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, I love that team. It was the last basketball team I loved. Sue says, shouldn't buys be based on how a team finished previous season? Playoff teams, early buys, non-playoff teams, late buys. I think like they should do it like a draft order. Like let the worst team pick when their buy is, and then just keep going. And then like the best team is stuck with the last remaining buy. Let's do it that way. Slu says Yankees 8 home runs today using their new super wood produced bats. I saw that on Twitter. I don't pay attention to baseball, but I did see that, and I'm like why aren't other teams doing this? Like, it's so stupid. Anyway,
oh yeah. Oh, did you get to the bottom of the barrel there?
Group F. There were 3 teams. The Titans, who no longer have Mike Rabel. They're awful. I did like the signing of Dan Moore and Kevin Zeitler to improve the offensive line, and we just don't know how good Cam Ward's going to be. If Cam Ward's good, then they could be out of Group F, but right now they're Group F. The Giants, you may disagree with this, but Russell Hustle, Man Muscle, Wilson, not good at all. He sucks. Jameis Winston's better. And then the Browns, ringing up the rear, the worst team in the league. Who is their quarterback? Deshaun Watson's out for most of the year because of torn Achilles. Right now it's Kenny Pickett. So yeah, good luck with that, Browns. It seems like
Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. Thank you.
That's
very
right.
much.
He threw a pass and that won Evan a big bet because he had over 2.5 players to throw a pass. So that worked out pretty well for him. But Now, Kenny Pickett is not good, and he's right now projected to be the starting quarterback. And it sounds like they're going to take a non-quarterback at number 2, according to Schefter. So, yeah, it's going to be Kenny Pickett. I think they're tanking.
Yeah,
it seems like maybe for Arch Manning. But if I'm Arch Manning and the Browns have the number 1 pick, I'm going back to school. So, jokes on you, Cleveland.
But I'm just saying, who would you rather have in there? Pickett or Jim Miller?
Jim Miller,
or Brock Osweiler. Because you saw what Osweiler did after winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, we're talking Brock Osweiler circa 2015, then yes. But Brock Osweiler now, who's not been in football in a long time.
No, but like, what if Pickett pulled an Osweiler and like had like a decent season? You know what I mean? Like, let him to the playoffs.
I mean, like, what if I won the lottery? Like, what are these what ifs? Like, anything can happen, I guess.
Sorry, I'm just getting tired, I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, before we head out, we have.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to. I'm just explaining my behavior.
I see. Okay. What just happened? It just got me.
Oh no, a computer malfunction. Thinking machines, supercomputers. You know what movie that's from?
No.
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Remember when they're going through that little ride and like they're showing like the things that held the eggs? Thinking machines, supercomputers.
I've seen it recently because my son's into dinosaurs, and I don't even remember that scene.
Oh, okay.
It didn't really strike me as a memorable scene. I don't know. I guess not.
It's not. So it's just me.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Let's reload the page. Minwoo Lee in first by himself. He's up 4 strokes, like I said, over Toasty. 5 strokes over Scheffler, Fox, and Gerard. So he's looking good. However, he's not a lock to win. I was talking to Cinder, I think, on Twitter today about hedging, and Cinder's like, "Why are you hedging? You know, Minwoo Lee's a lock to win." I'm like, Data Golf has him at 63.2%. If you look, I mean, obviously better than everyone else. Scotty Scheffler's in second place at 11%. Like, if you had a 63% shooter at the foul line, like, would you feel confident? The answer is obviously no, right? So, yeah, he's more than a coin flip to win, which is nice. But, you know, he went 7 under today. This guy Toasty went 5 under. Ryan Fox went 5 under. Jesper Svensson 7 under. Davis Thompson 6 under. That could easily happen to anyone here. And if Minwoo Lee is at par and Toasty goes 6 under, he wins. Scheffler goes 6 under, he can certainly do that. He wins. Fox goes 6 under, he wins. So, like, you have to hedge here. I think you have to hedge. We have Minwoo Lee 40-1. We have a lot of equity here. So I'm not even saying like betting 5 units. I'm talking about like 2 units spread it around. So let's look at the guys who I think could win. Toasty, I think, could win. He was, I think, like 42nd in my model, for 41st. So anyone in the top 50, I'm convinced can win. Scotty Scheffler was number 2 in my model. He was in first place heading in today, but he had a bad putting day. He was amazing with his putting on Thursday and Friday, but bad putting today by Scheffler. That's the key with him. Is like the putting is the weakest part of his game. If he's on with his putting, he's like invincible. If he struggles with his putting, then he's going to be beaten. So we'll see how he does with his putter on Sunday. But I do want to hedge with him because he's the best golfer in the world. Ryan Fox, we have him to win place in the top 20, and he's at 86% to do that. We have him at like plus 330 to finish in the top 20. So that's a nice one that we have here. I like him a lot. He's I think he's in the top 20 of my. He's number 16 in my model. So. Ryan Gerard is someone I don't have, and like from the looks of it, it's kind of like confused about how he's doing so well. His best finishes here is 17th, so I'm not going to be hedging with Gerard. Keith Mitchell is a guy like he is where is he in the model? He's definitely in the top 50. He's number 24, so he didn't like quite make the top 20, but he's pretty close. And Mitchell could get there, and I think his odds are going to be pretty good. Jesper Svensson is, I think, in my model. He's number 47. So like I said, anyone in the top 50 could get there. Gary Woodland also, he's like number 50. He's like right on the edge, but he has great power, and that's like the only thing he does well. Like if you look at this, look, just driving distance is great, and he's fine on approach, but everything else he's weak. But like this is a course that's like super heavy on distance. Like there's negligible rough, and I was telling you before we started the show, Minwoo Lee hit the ball on 18 on cart path. Like I've never seen that before. You see like if you watch tracking it, you see like green or fairway or rough or sand. I've never seen cart path before. And he parred the hole. That's how little accuracy means on this course. And Minwoo Lee's accuracy, would take a look here. His accuracy is his worst trait. It's a -1 here. His driving distance is awesome. Putting is great. Around the green, awesome. And that's why he's doing so well, because like he's one of the best drivers in PGA. And so yeah, it's all about distance here. But yeah, so Gary Woodland is someone who's not good at golf, really, at least not as good as the top guys in PGA. But because he can drive the ball well, then he could definitely spike this tournament. Trey Mullinax, I think, is in the top 50. Mullinax is not that great of a golfer, but he's number 53. So kind of like on like borderline whether we should include him. Look, he's driving distance is good. Everything else he sucks. He's below average and everything else. So I don't really want to put Mullinax in a hedge. His best finish is top 16. Maybe he finishes like top 10 here. It's a great finish for him, but I just don't see it. And then let's look at the 10 under guys. I don't think we need to go to 9 under. Davis Thompson, he's very high in the model. He's number 4. And he had a great day. He was 6 under. He was in first place for a while. We already hedged with him. We have him in the 35-1, I think, or 37-1. So we don't need to hedge that. Taylor Pendrith, he's not like a great fit for this course because he doesn't hit the ball. Let's look at his stats. He hits the ball pretty far. My worry about him was like the bad on the green, around the green. But he is in the model. He's 28th, so he could definitely get there. It is hard to be 7 back and win. I think you need to be like an elite golfer to do it. I don't think I'm going to hedge with Pendrith. Jake Knapp, we bet on him, so no need to hedge there. And then Nico Echeverria, he's where was he in the model? He's 105th, so I'm not going to hedge with him. And I should mention Rory McIlroy. He's 9 under. He could always lead a charge. He's the second best golfer on tour. And he has 2 wins this year. I just didn't like him this week because it feels like right before the Masters, he always like gets psyched up for it because he's that's like the one thing he hasn't done is win at the Masters. And so I thought that he would use this tournament to prepare for the Masters. So he hasn't played his best, and I didn't expect him to. So I'm not going to hedge with McIlroy. So the guys I'm looking to hedge with are Toasty, Scheffler, Fox, maybe Mitchell, maybe Woodland, depends on the numbers, and that's it. So we can look at the odds. Scotty Scheffler's plus 550. We already hedged with him. We hedged 2 units. I think I want to do like a half unit more, or maybe like 3/4 units. Because, like I said, I mean, he's the best golfer in the world, and he can easily go 7 under and catch Minwoo. Even if Minwoo goes 2 under and Scheffler goes 7 under, then they tie. And I would trust Scheffler in an extra hole. So Toasty 16-1. That's an very easy hedge, like half a unit, I guess. Ryan Fox, that's an even easier hedge at 25-1. I'm not interested in Gerard at 28-1. Mitchell and Woodland maybe like 0.1 units. I think that's fine. And maybe Jefferson Svensson 0.1 units. I don't think we need to go crazy with these guys. I do like if you don't have a bet, like Davis Thompson 80-1 looks pretty good. We already bet him though, like I said, so we don't need to go there. But yeah, it's about it. Sue says, I hope Minwoo Lee doesn't exchange texts with Justin Thomas. Yeah, that was rough last week. I don't know if you saw this, Tom, but last week we had Justin Thomas at 25-1. No, it was 20-1. He was up 3 holes with 3 to go. And on 16, he hits the ball into a crowd, and he's like behind a tree. And so he has to chip it backward to get back on the fairway. And then and then his next shot when he got back on the fairway got into the sand. Like he just self-destructed. He bogeyed 16 and he bogeyed 18. And the terrible thing was the guy chasing him, Victor Hovland, he got to see exactly what he was doing because he was going right behind him. So on 16, Victor Hovland just hit the ball with an iron, just to like plop it on the green. He didn't even try to hit it far. It's like plopped it on the green, and then he birdied that hole, he birdied the other hole, and he won. And it was like, man, like 20-1. We did hedge with Hovland a little bit, but like we could have won so much more money.
Oh, geez.
With Thomas. So yeah, as Sue's saying, like, yeah, hopefully Minwoo Lee doesn't choke down the stretch.
Yeah.
This would be his first PGA Tour win ever. So rooting for this guy, and I know our occasional guest Ben Wassley's rooting for him because Minwoo Lee is an Aussie. So every time when Wassley's on and we talk golf, he's like let's go Minwoo Lee. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best Australian golfer right now. Unless you want to consider Jason Day, they're pretty close. But yeah, that's about it. So I will be posting my official hedge plays on the site within half an hour, I guess. So yeah, look for that, and then we might do stuff live. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have family over tomorrow. The house is gonna be like packed with people. So I don't know if like the kids are like commandeer the TV and whatnot. But I will try to keep track, and I might do a live hedge if we need to. But hopefully we don't. Hopefully Minwoo Lee just shoots 7 under again and just takes it home, and we don't have to sweat it out. I'd love to like not sweat it out. That'd be great. But yeah, that's about it. So good luck to everyone betting it. Yeah. Anything else before you head out?
I guess that's it, Walt. I had a great time with you as always, man. Always a good time hanging out. We never know what we're going to get into, and it never disappoints. So
yeah, I feel like we could talk forever, and we have on the phone. So
yeah. So yeah, great stuff, man. Thanks everyone for joining. Had a great time hanging out with you all as always. So
yeah, absolutely, guys. Once again, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would be really appreciated. Follow Tom on Twitch. Quacky_T. Have you streamed recently? I know you haven't. But...
No, it's been a while. Yeah, give me a follow on there. I'll be back at some point. I'll get tired.
Maury. You got to stream Maury. It's a great game.
Yeah. No, I have been playing it a little bit, but once probably after the draft, I'll probably get back into it. So,
all right, guys. Yeah, sounds good. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. And once again, thanks for watching, commenting. Really appreciate it. We'll be back Tuesday. Charlie will be on next week. I don't know if it's Tuesday or Thursday. Kenny will be back on Wednesday. I try to get another guest for Thursday, and then Tom will be back on Saturday. So I think we will at least 3 out of 4 days we'll have a guest, and maybe even 4 out of 4. But even if I'm flying solo, we have a lot to talk about you. So it's always fun. All right, guys. Once again, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you on Tuesday.
See you later.